Romney counters Trump, 90% of very Republican Utah votes by mail. Didn't Trump vote by mail himself? The reality is that voting by mail makes it easier for all voters to vote. Republican, Democratic, or other, plus it gives you the opportunity to do more research before you cast your vote. Particularly on local races, e.g. judges, prosecutors, school board, etc., that you might not be as informed about. I suspect it is this time to research aspect that scares them so much. It reduces the "I voted for the one I had heard of" factor that they count on to allow corruption to continue unabated. This whole attempt to drum up fears over remote voting is fucking pathetic. For decades, we've been receiving credit cards, paying our bills, and sending/receiving all sorts of important documents without major issue. Hell, back in the old days, people actually bought houses from Sears catalog. But somehow, ticking a couple of boxes and posting is just a recipe for disaster. I really appreciate Romney repeatedly speaking out against Trump's outrageous remarks, even if his motivations for doing so are murky. It's good to have a GOP senator who doesn't follow the deny reality script at all times. Trump, who voted by mail himself in Florida's primary this year. What? I hope Romney endorses Joe Biden for president. That could make a difference with some Republican classic voters still on the fence. And in this election we'll take every bit of help we can get to oust the fascist orange clown. The majority of the GOP fascination with voter fraud is the underlying understanding that voter accessibility spells doom for the Republican Party. Never mind that voter fraud has been demonstrated again and again to be a minuscule, almost non-existent problem. Look it up yourself. If everyone eligible to vote had the opportunity to do so, this would be a very different country. Voter suppression is one of the biggest problems our system is experiencing, and it dates back a long time. I really wish the Republican Party would abandon Trump and get behind Romney. He seems to be the last remaining shred of what a Republican used to be. Utah is okay. Battleground states will be forbidden. I'm conflicted with old Mitt. I hated Mitt Romney in 2012, I somewhat respect him in 2020. He hasn't changed much, the Republican Party has just shifted so far right that he's sounding reasonable. Still thankful for his impeachment vote though. I think the mail-in favors Democrats is a bit of a myth. https://www. New York Times. com/2020/04/10/a/politics/vote by mail. HTML. Romney is totally gearing up for a post-Trump GOP run at the nomination in 2024. He's going to run on getting the party back to traditional conservative values. I would think vote by mail would be very elderly equals more votes for Trump. It's a tactic to suppress votes in swing states. Trump doesn't care about voter fraud. He wants liberals to stay home out of fear of disease, and conservatives to go out and vote because they think it's fake. The sole reason Trump is against mail-in voting is because he cannot electronically alter the voting results if people vote by mail. It's the only way he can ensure his second term, by altering the results. By hacking your voting system. Pretty obvious this is the only reason for this, and now he's threatening to withhold funding to states who do the mail-in voting. Come on man. My county is very Republican and votes by mail. I don't think there has been a Democrat county commissioner in at least 30 years. Maybe 50. This doesn't make me love Romney, but it makes me feel that even though we disagree, he's trying to fill the voice John McCain left in the GOP, and doing a pretty decent job. Wow, we live in a world where Romney is looking like a good guy. He's just mad because of all the work he put into rigging/hacking voting machines, including getting those Chinese patents for Ivanka. https://www. CNBC. com/2018/11/06/ Ivanka Trump gets initial approval from China for 16 trademarks. HTML. We just did our all mail-in election on Tuesday here in Oregon. It's simple enough to vote that even Republicans can figure it out. Donnie hasn't figured out how to rig the mail-in ballot yet. Once he does, he will be all for it. He only knows how to cheat. This doesn't really counter Trump. He doesn't mind if red states vote by mail. He just doesn't want blue states to vote by mail. Even as a Democrat, I really appreciate Romney for remaining the last true Republican. Vote by mail is popular, safe, does not favor a political party, Ohio, Utah. The only people who do not want this are people that are going to lose right now if voter turnout is up. I vote by mail in Alabama, because of my job. Then again, I vote for the person who best represents my beliefs. Which, though I'm an atheist, are very like the beliefs of Jesus. Like the actual Jesus. Take care of the least of these, do unto others, love your brother as yourself. So I vote Democrat. If your best argument against mail-in voting is because we'll lose, maybe it's time to rethink your platform. I still disagree with a lot of shit this dude campaigned for. But at least Romney is trying to be a real Republican and not a cult follower. I can't not respect that. Your entire party is giving you the finger and you're standing your ground. No shit, they love vote by mail. When it benefits them directly. The thing about democracy that conservatives will never get is that, to be fully functioning, you have lose power sometimes. Damn, Romney is serious about 2024, maybe even 2020 if Trump sharts himself on live TV. All voting should be by paper ballots and done from home. The very idea of an informed voter brings up images of a person sitting at a table or desk and researching before deciding, not standing in a long line. Then we mail them over weeks of time and give each state the time to count, i.e. more than just one day. Election day should be the end of the count, not the beginning. And we should have totals in nearly all races by 9 p.m. Anything else is suspect. Welcome back to the unending nightmare of Mitt Romney being notable for his moral backbone, and it gets worse. He's retroactively been right about a number of things that I doubted about him. It's getting to the point that I'd legitimately be a Republican if more of the party was like him. Whether or not Romney is saying things like this for a future bid at president, in my opinion, is irrelevant. Just having one GOP senator left that actually seems to care about protecting the Constitution. Does anyone actually prefer voting in person, if given the option? I mean, I just get my ballot, open it up, look at it, might walk away and do some more research, fill it out, and leisurely walk it to my mailbox. No searching for a polling place, no lines, no pressure to make a quick uninformed decision, and I even get a sticker. Why would anyone want to do it any other way, especially given the current circumstances? I've been voting by mail in Oregon since I turned 18. Before this all happened, I considered it a convenience that I didn't have to go in to vote. But now I really think it should be a right. Now is the time to write to your state leadership to make this a permanent thing. That, and the whole U.S. military has been voting by mail since the Civil War. 1860s. This is attempted voter suppression by the Republican Party. Full stop. Romney is seemingly the one Republican who actually has the interests of his people at heart. Romney is definitely gonna take a run for president again, and he's developing an image of being a reasonable, moderate Republican. Romney, the only person in the GOP with a spine. Never thought I would be rooting for Romney, lol. Romney is the old school Republican. You know, the one that actually cares about their country but simply has different opinions about how to care for it than typical Democrats do. New Republicans are not even that, they're thieves disguised as a party whose only motivations are driven by personal profit and not what's best for the country. Romney was a great governor for Massachusetts and really birthed Obamacare for the rest of the nation.